Hi, I'm Tyler Lusher, and I will be talking to y'all about my senior thesis over water scarcity from an interdisciplinary approach. To begin, we will be discussing the relevance of water scarcity. Water scarcity is not just having access to clean water, but also methods of utilizing and consuming clean water once available. Having access to clean water is a basic human right that many around the world do not have. There are even cases in the United States. The complexity of water scarcity makes it difficult to be addressed when looking at it solely from the perspective of having clean water system. An interdisciplinary approach is best because it allows for a more holistic approach. My disciplines of economics and communications play a key role in addressing water scarcity. Economics allows for the establishment of water systems by focusing on methods to monetize it, which allows for the building, maintenance, and use of the system. Communications allow for the public relations aspect, gaining media attention on the crisis to find donors, and also allow for professional speaking on the issue. Together, communications and economics allow for the sharing of these ideas in a cohesive yet effective manner. This is an interdisciplinary issue because there are many economic and governmental sectors involved. It requires communication to gain worldwide coverage on the topic. It is important to look at the quantitative and qualitative analysis on various economic studies and methods. Methods of communication help in sharing groundbreaking news and creating alliance on the topic. It is important to address water scarcity as interdisciplinary to reduce the amount of water-borne diseases and improve global health. An interdisciplinary approach allows for better understanding of various aspects impacting clean water. It allows for distinguishing the disciplines involved in clean water systems such as implementation, sustainability, projection on a global scale. The interdisciplinary approach creates a longer-lasting system and allows for the allocation of money when working with the government. Professional and effective communication is key in sharing these ideas and proposing water systems. Economics plays a key role in addressing water scarcity through the knowledge of money and how it is used. It is important to know the difference between goods, commodities, and necessities. Necessities are essential items such as air and housing. A commodity can be described as an item that is not needed or can be a luxury. An example would be a spa treatment or buying higher-end groceries from Trader Joe's instead of from Walmart, whereas a good is any profitable item. Economics also allows for recognizing the supply and demand for water. Water is in high demand when there is a low supply of clean water. This is the basis in understanding how to generate more water supply through understanding where water stands economically. Communication helps in addressing water scarcity by being able to understand a situation and adequately sharing information on the topic. This is through analyzing the conversation for more effective delivery of the argument. This is important in conversing with government officials from surrounding countries for a collective effort in water implementation practice. It also leads to better communication when wanting to expand and further utilize clean water systems. Now we will examine some of the literature used to show the effectiveness of communication and economics in addressing water scarcity. The economic literature emphasizes that water can be exchanged for monetary benefit. There are many industries that can bring in revenue when implementing clean water systems, such as hydraulic energy, employment at treatment plants, and packaging water. This allows for money to circulate through the economy in relation to water. Bogra et al. 2020 shows the dependency of other industries impacting water. This allows for an economic standpoint without showing how other disciplines may impact the economy. It focuses on how the economy will fall without the use of water systems and the success they bring in. Next, Garrick et al. 2020 examines water as a necessity and that countries need measures to be able to afford the purification of water. The money necessary has to come from somewhere, making water its own industry. There is another perspective on water through measuring socioeconomic pathways that quantify water consumption. This allows us to know the supply amount of water and how much the demand is impacting it. The influx of money must be monitored to understand how to maintain clean water systems. Having foreign alliances allows for the burden of money to be shared between countries and provides systems that help a larger amount of people. It is key to keep in mind that when having relationships with other countries to be mindful of their practices to avoid conflict. Munya et al. In 2018 suggests that water systems should be focused in areas that have little access to water near basins, as these populations are going to see the greatest amount of benefit from the system. The communication literature focuses on spreading information on how current water systems function in the cities that they are in place. When properly shared, this information gives rise to potential solutions to implement in other places. Communication holds the basis in creating foreign policies when creating alliance in sharing water systems. This can be through creating a plan together between countries or sharing effective measures. It is also important in working with government officials or donors when creating water systems so that they are aware of where their money is going. Communicating economic or scientific facts properly make them more understandable to those without a background from the information. It is also vital in communicating the benefits of water systems with other countries. Proper communication tactics allow for the understanding of other cultures to be sensitive to different practices by countries to avoid foreign conflict. Having prior knowledge of cultural norms makes communication more effective without creating hostility. Having proper communication strategies allows for delivery of information without antagonizing others or dismissing their point of view when it comes to contrasting views. It demonstrates proper technique to address the opposing point of view while effectively delivering your argument. It also gives a basic understanding of government structures based on the type of leadership modalities and how their forms of communication differ. The communication tactics used in a democracy are going to differ heavily from a dictatorship or monarchy. It also lets similar government structures have better alliances due to the similar modality of communications. Use of professional jargon and manners when communicating with officials or politicians for funding is key to show respect and value for their time. They are also more likely to be persuaded if the delivery manner is pristine. Having an engaging style of communication also keeps the public's attention and draws their focus to why they should feel passionately about water scarcity. Although it seems like communications and economics have a lot of common ground, they differ quite heavily. Communications is focused on understanding and interpreting information, which in regard to water scarcity brings awareness of how it is affecting populations and what efforts can be taken to help it. It is also more of the marketing side of the problem by trying to gain global attention through the use of agitation strategies to appeal to ethical and moral values. This is different from economics, which is more focused on moving money through the economy. Economics is integrated, where communication is application-based. The best way to understand economics is by analyzing monetary funds to see if it is realistic to keep water projects sustainable. It is also more quantifiable data that shows correlation that justifies clean water implementation measures. Although economics and communication may differ heavily, there are commonalities that allow them to be used together. An example of this is using communication methods to effectively share economic data related to water scarcity. These two disciplines rely heavily on each other to make data more understandable and interpretable. Also presents data in a method that appeals to moral values. There is a positive correlation between the model of delivery when it comes to information and how it is being absorbed by the audience. Use of communication strategies and economic information delivery allows for the audience to not only be a specific niche of people with a background in economics, but allows it to be understandable by everyone. This multidisciplinary approach implements a clean water system that is sustainable by looking at the idea from two different perspectives and seeing how they interact. Economics and communication have a dynamic relationship that allows for them to be used together. Economics focuses on the fix to the problem, where communications are the driving forces allowing for information to be presented. Communication, through its agitation strategy, allows for the development of relationships with other countries in water systems implementation. Economics focuses on finding the backbone or money needed for these measures. It makes money circulate through the water industry, which makes it sustainable. There are other disciplines that need to be addressed further, such as geographic conditions. There are many geographic variables that affect clean water systems, such as building effective irrigation and cleaning systems that consider the soil composition and weather conditions. It is also important to examine the practical use of water systems and how to get citizens to use the clean water systems properly. Communication is important in all of these measures, as it forms a team effort in addressing water scarcity by being the primary method of disclosing information. Here are my references to all of the literature and data used in this presentation. Thank you.